grab the wind and hop onto the brain train, because there's a new Yu-Gi-Oh series in town. Hey guys, xthedarkone here, and that's right, I want to start a new show, because you guys fucking can't get enough of my new shows. I don't know. So, as we all know, there's a new fucking Yu-Gi-Oh series out, Yu-Gi-Oh VRains. I'm going to start a weekly show. I haven't decided when it's going to be. Today's Sunday, when this video comes out. That's because episode 2 is now out. We're 2 episodes strong. And I wanted to just get them done. But let's get into it and let's start talking about the new Yu-Gi-Oh VRains, starting with episode 1. Warning, I'm going to be talking about the episodes as I watch them. These are not going to be scripted in any way. I'm literally going to be telling you as I've seen the episode. Like, I watched VRains episode 2 like 2 minutes ago, and now it's fresh in my head. I'm just going to talk about it. I figure it's going to be more of a loosey-goosey kind of review show, this. However, if you haven't watched the show yet, I advise you go back, watch them, because I am going to be discussing several plot points, although there's not much in the way of spoilers. We're only 2 episodes in. With that in mind, let's get started. It's called VRains because all the dueling takes place in what is called the link VRains. It's kind of like the internet. It's kind of like an online sort of world where they go to do their dueling. That's why they don't need traditional duelists. They just have like a band and they all holograms and shit, but that's essentially what the VRains is, and they go into the VRains, and that's the name. That's what I want to go for, I guess. That's what I want to go for. That's what I want to go for. I don't know. I'll make the rules. So we start the duel with these strange characters fighting this dude who has a massive dragon. They're trying to protect something called the Cyverse. This one character, who we then realise is an AI called Ignis, comes along and he basically protects the Cyverse, or he absorbs it into himself. He kind of makes it a part of him, from what I can tell. But then he gets attacked, but a piece of him escapes, and then basically the bad guys are looking for this little piece of Ignis. We then meet Yusaku, who is the show's protagonist. And I'm not gonna lie, they did something a bit different with Yusaku. There's not ever been 2 types of Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists. There's been the sort of stoic and, you know, very emotionless, not emotionless, but very serious kind of protagonist. Then there's been the sort of goofy, silly ones who do, you know, a bit more of a comedy. And, you know, whatever Jaden was in season 4. However, Yusaku, he's kind of doing a bit more different. He's basically got incredible perception. Like, he sees he doesn't miss a trick, does Yusaku. And he just seems like he's not too serious, but he doesn't understand, you know, how to be a friend. Let's see Yusaku. He's met with this other guy who I'm assuming is going to be like his best friend for the show, who starts talking to him, you know, gives us info on the dueling on the VRains network, and tells us about Playmaker, who, at this point, we've kind of sussed out Playmaker is Yusuke, but no one knows it. You know, it's kind of a secret identity kind of thing, even though they have the same hairstyle, just different hair colours. One thing I liked about episode 1, which I thought was a bit different, was that there wasn't actually any duels in episode 1. Yeah, we saw inklings of duels here and there, but we didn't see any actual dueling. We just saw, like, 2 people would be there and you'd see the monsters. We didn't see anything in the way of dueling. We just saw little bits. And I thought for a Yu-Gi-Oh show, that's quite ballsy, because every Yu-Gi-Oh show has always had a duel of some kind, whether it be a full duel or the first part, or in episode 1 they start a duel and they finish it in episode 2. That's normally been the formula, but this they didn't show any dueling. You know, they didn't even start the duel in this show. He said he challenged him to a duel and then the episode ended. I like that they spent more time building the world and sort of looking more at the characters. We did also get introduced to the 2 new factions, which I really liked. Let's talk about those new factions, shall we? You've got Soul Technologies. They're kind of the guys that run the VRains network. I think they might not be I don't know. I'm a bit torn at the moment between who the actual bad group are. They might both be bad for all I know, but you've got Soul Technology that basically run the group, and then you've got the Knights of Hanoi who, from the get-go, they look like they could be the main protagonists. The main antagonists of the show. But I don't know. There's something about... Here's the thing. The Knights of Hanoi are led by a guy called Revolver. I think his name is Revolver. And in the intro sequence of VRains, the last shot is you see Playmaker and Hanoi... not Hanoi, Playmaker and Revolver, but then you see 2 other characters who are like 2 more pro duelists, or 2 very popular duelists, who I'm assuming are going to become bigger characters throughout the series. You see the 4 of them appear across the screen, which makes me think that maybe the Knights of Hanoi might not be the villains. They might be kind of anti-villains. I think Soul Technologies, it might do a flip around, and Soul Technologies might be the real villains. But this isn't a theories video. This is a review series. That's just a little personal thing I noticed when I saw the trailer, when I saw the intro. Go watch the intro and you'll see what I mean at that end bit when they sort of cross the 4 characters cross, which to me suggests that Revolver is actually, the rival, like the Kyber, if you will, the main rival of the protagonist, the anti-hero kind of character. Overall, episode 1 was a great way to build your world. They built the world really well. We got to see more character development than actual dueling, which I think, again, very good idea, because we know the dueling's going to happen. We didn't need the dueling to happen straight away, in my personal opinion. I like that they spent more time focusing on the world that we're going to be watching the duels in, because, I just thought it was a good idea. I think it's, every other episode now is probably going to have dueling in it, so we don't need to, spend that early on time establishing your world, telling us the rules, all this, that, and the other, and then start the dueling. At the end of episode 1, we did end with Playmaker, who just saved the girl, one of the girls who was I can't remember her name. He saved the girl. I should probably point out that at this point in the episode, the Knights of Hanoi are looking for the AI during a security sweep because the defenses are down. So the Knights of Hanoi start looking for this AI, for Ignis. I think it's Ignis. I'm pretty sure it's Ignis. They interrupt the girl, this popular girl duelist, who I'm assuming is going to be A, the main female protagonist, and B, the main love interest of the show. Anyway, episode 1 ends with fucking Playmaker saving that girl, challenging this other knight dude to a fight, and that's our episode. All in all, a very good start. I was riveted. I was like, okay, no duels, but actually, I know a lot. I have a lot of information about the show straight away. From that one episode, I already know so much about the world, and I'm happy with that. So I get 10 out of 10 for the first episode. Now let's talk about episode 2, which is the freshest episode in my mind. So episode 2, we went straight into it, balls deep, straight into the duel. It was awesome. You see, at the end of the episode 1, fucking Ignis does this thing with the Cybers and brings this big wind current through, and this is where he jumps on the whole card games on hoverboards thing that started up. But basically, speed duels are, you ride these winds, hence the catchphrase "grab the wind," which is now going to be a thing of the show, like high five the sky and all that bollocks. It's essentially like Duel Links. If you play Duel Links on your phone, it's kind of like that. You get 3 monster zones, 3 trap zones, and there is still link summoning. I'm not a fan of that, but that's just me being an old Yu-Gi-Oh player, just not, can't accept change. But yeah, the duel goes. He quickly summons his fucking. He quickly summons his Cracking Dragon Grommet. Yeah, that's right. It's called Cracking Dragon. I love it. What a name. I hope they keep the name. I really do. I really want them to keep the name for the English release. When it comes out in English, I hope they call it Cracking Dragon. Another reason why I think Revolver might be the sort of anti-hero is because I noticed that a lot of the anti-heroes of a Yu-Gi-Oh show have a dragon with 3,000 attack points. That's become kind of formula when you think about it. Kyber had Blue Eyes. Chaz had Armed Dragon level 10. Jack had Red Dragon Archfiend with 3,000 attack, obviously. Kite had his Photon Dragon. That's just another theory why I think Revolver is going to be the anti-hero, the rival, and Cracking Dragon's actually going to be his dragon, and he's going to sort of use different forms of it. Turns out Cracking Dragon's also a bit of a fucking boss. It has 3,000 attack points. It's a Dark Dragon, level 8. Every time you summon a monster, whether it be special or normal summoned, it can reduce its life points by 100 points times its level, and then deal that damage to you. Can only be destroyed by battle by monsters of level 8 or higher, which is also pretty broken. Whether it will keep these effects for the TCG when it comes out, I don't know. I'd like to. That's a pretty awesome effect. But whatever. Ignis is trying to explain certain things like skills. Yes, in speed duels you get skills. And this guy, the guy who works for Hanoi, he can draw 2 cards.
Ignis just happens to have one for Playmaker where, oh, you can get a special card. It's basically plot device power. That's it. That's what it is. He has plot device skill. That is... I think every Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist has that power, has plot device card skill. My skill is drawing one plot device card from my deck whenever I need it. The duel goes back and forth. We see a few fake outs. The girl comes and helps Yusuke, aka Playmaker, when he gets knocked off his board. He climbs back on. Then we see these tornado things. Now apparently in these speed duels, when you die, like if you were to like take an impact in the virtual world, it's kind of Matrix. Like anything your mind takes, your body experiences in real life. So you can die in these duels. So there's definitely the danger element still there. And apparently this big tornado thing is just like eating up buildings, deleting them, and he's trying to get away, and he's just like, fuck off. And eventually, the villain knocks a Playmaker into this tornado, which is when Ignis reveals his new skill that he can essentially draw a new card. He can basically find a new monster from this tornado using Storm Access, which is his new power, and he summons it into the world. He brings it into the world, and that monster was, with his new monster, Playmaker defeats this Hanoi guy, and you know, he does everything in threes. He says some shit about, 3 reasons why I gotta win, and I think that's going to be a theme of his character. He's going to talk in threes, and 3 reasons why I can do this, 3 reasons why I can do that. All in all, the episode was really intriguing. The action was good. The dueling was there. I was very satisfied with it all, actually. I mean, for a 1-episode duel, normally they can be a bit stale, but I actually really enjoyed it. Again, we learned about link summonings. I still don't really understand how they work, but, you know, it's there showing me. We got to see how speed duels work. Oh, by the way, there's another type of dueling called master dueling, which I assume is just regular dueling. I'm sure we'll see a master duel at some point, which is a full field with the full rules and everything, but... So I'm sure we'll see more of the Master Duels as the show progresses. But overall, I give both these episodes top-notch, 10 out of 10. Really approve. I can't wait to see more. And I recommend, if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, to go check it out. You know, I think you should. I think it's well worth it. I like the characters I've seen so far. I like the duels. I like some of the monsters. You know, so we'll just have to see how it all progresses. Thanks for joining, guys. And I'll see you next week when I review episode 3. Bye-bye.